The TV drones on in the background. But I'm not really watching. I'm sitting here, staring at the screen, trying to focus. But my mind keeps drifting. Claire is sitting on the other end of the couch, scrolling through her phone like she has been all evening. Her eyes are glued to the screen, her fingers moving quickly. But she's not saying a word. It's been like this for a while now. I glance over at her, trying to act casual. But the knot in my stomach tightens. She hasn't looked up once in the last half hour. Just the glow of the phone, lighting up her face. The sound of notifications popping in every now and then. I shift in my seat, trying to shake the feeling that's been nagging at me for weeks now. No, maybe longer. Who are you texting? Ask. My voice a little too casual. She doesn't even look up when she answers. Work stuff, she says quickly, brushing off the question. Work. It's always work these days. I mutter, trying not to sound suspicious. But it's hard to ignore how she angles her phone just slightly away from me, like she doesn't want me to see the screen. I lean back on the couch, my mind racing. I don't know when it started, this feeling that something's off. But it's been building for a while now. Claire's always been independent. She's never needed my permission to have her own life, her own space, and I've always respected that. But lately, there's been something different, a distance between us that I can't quite explain. The small things, subtle changes, the way she holds her phone closer, the way she's been getting home later and later, always with some vague excuse. Work ran late, she'll say. I grabbed dinner with the team, but the excuses are starting to feel thin. I shift again, trying to focus on the TV, but my mind keeps circling back to the same place. Maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe it's just stress. We've both been busy lately. I've been working long hours trying to close this deal at the office, and Claire's been busy with her own projects at work. We haven't had much time together lately, and I try to tell myself that's all it is. But the way she's been acting, I take a deep breath and look over at her again. She's still focused on her phone, typing something quickly before setting it face down on the couch next to her, the screen disappearing from view. It's a small gesture, one she probably doesn't even think about, but I notice it. She used to leave her phone lying around, unlocked, out in the open. Now, it's always locked, always turned over, always hidden. I clear my throat, trying to push the thought away, but the knot in my stomach tightens. Busy at work? I ask, keeping my tone light. Yeah, she says, nodding without looking up. Big project coming up. I lean back again, watching her carefully. Anything exciting? She shrugs. Just the usual. Long days. You know how it is. I don't say anything else. I'm trying not to push. I don't want to be that guy, the one who interrogates his wife every time she gets a message. But lately, it feels like she's always on her phone, always busy with something that she can't, or won't, talk about. It wasn't always like this. I think back to just a year ago, when everything felt easier. Claire and I used to spend our nights talking, laughing, planning our next vacation, or catching up on some show we both liked. Now, it's like she's in another world and I'm just here. I glance at the clock. It's getting late. Claire used to stay up with me, but now, she's always heading to bed earlier. Says she has early meetings, that she needs her sleep. Maybe that's true, or maybe it's just another excuse. I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something. Heading to bed soon? Ask, trying to sound casual. But my voice comes out stiffer than I intended. Yeah. In a bit, she says, still not looking at me. I've got another early meeting tomorrow. Another meeting. She's been having a lot of those lately. I try to tell myself that it's normal, that there's nothing wrong. But the doubt is there, lurking in the back of my mind, refusing to be ignored. I've never been the jealous type. Never had a reason to be. Claire's always been good at her job. Hell, she's the one with the steady career, while I'm still trying to make a name for myself. But something doesn't feel right. I watch as she stands up, stretching her arms and grabbing her phone off the couch. I'm gonna head up, she says, finally glancing at me for the first time in what feels like hours. You coming? In a bit, I say, trying to smile. I'll finish up here first. She nods and heads out of the room, her phone still in hand as she disappears up the stairs. I sit there for a moment, staring at the empty spot where she was just sitting, the knot in my stomach twisting tighter with every second that passes. What am I supposed to do? I can't just accuse her of. Exactly. I don't even know what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it really is just work stress. Maybe I'm just tired and I'm reading too much into things. But then again, maybe I'm not. I take a deep breath, standing up from the couch and turning off the TV. The room is quiet now, but my mind is anything but. I walk to the kitchen, grabbing a glass of water, my thoughts racing. I don't want to be the guy who checks his wife's phone. I don't want to be that paranoid husband, but there's a feeling in my gut that I can't ignore. I glance toward the stairs, hearing the faint sound of Claire moving around upstairs. She's probably getting ready for bed, doing her usual routine. She's probably not even thinking about me right now. I don't know what to think anymore. I lean against the counter, staring into my glass of water, the silence of the house pressing down on me. I want to believe that everything's fine, that I'm just imagining things. But there's a part of me, a small, stubborn part, that won't let it go. I finish my water and set the glass in the sink, my mind still racing. I don't know what's going on with Claire, but I know one thing for sure. Something's not right, and I'm gonna find out what it is. The morning light streams through the blinds as I sip my coffee, trying to shake off the restless night. I didn't sleep well again. I spent most of the night staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying every conversation I've had with Claire in the past few weeks. Every vague answer she's given, every late night she's spent at work. I couldn't help it. The doubts kept circling, refusing to let me rest. I glance at my phone sitting on the counter. It's still early, but Claire left an hour ago, saying she had an early meeting. Another one of those mysterious meetings. The house feels too quiet without her, and that familiar knot tightens in my stomach again. I can't stop thinking about last night. The way she angled her phone away from me. The way she rushed off to bed, barely making eye contact. It's like she's here, but not really here. I set my coffee down and stare at the kitchen table, my thoughts swirling. Part of me wants to drop it. Just let it go. Maybe she really is just busy with work and I'm overreacting. But another part of me, a bigger part, knows that something's wrong. I can feel it. I glance toward the stairs, knowing Claire left her laptop upstairs in the office. She's always so careful with her phone. But her laptop, that's a different story. She's left it unlocked before. Open, even. The thought nags at me. I don't want to be the kind of husband who snoops through his wife's things. But I can't shake this feeling. This gnawing sense that something is slipping through my fingers and I don't even know what it is. Before I realize what I'm doing, I'm on my feet, walking toward the stairs. I try to tell myself that I'm just being paranoid, that I'm making something out of nothing, but I can't stop. My legs move on their own, carrying me up the stairs and into the office. Claire's laptop is sitting on the desk, right where she left it last night. The screen is dark, but I can't see the faint glow of the battery light. It's still on. I stand there for a moment, staring at it, my heart pounding in my chest. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't need to do this. But something inside me is screaming that I have to. I sit down in the chair and lift the lid of the laptop, the screen flickering to life. It's unlocked. The desktop opens to her email inbox. Hundreds of unread messages staring back at me. My hands hover over the keyboard for a second, the weight of what I'm about to do pressing down on me. I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, and click on the inbox. First, it's all work-related. Emails from clients, her boss, project updates. But as I scroll further down, something catches my eye. A name, Robert. The subject line is vague, but it's enough to make my stomach churn. I click on the message, my heart pounding in my ears as the email opens. Robert, looking forward to seeing you again tonight. Last time was incredible. Can't wait for more. I freeze, my breath catching in my throat. My mind races, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. Looking forward to seeing you again tonight? What the hell does that mean? My hands are shaking as I scroll through the thread, my eyes scanning the messages. The more I read, the more sick I feel. Claire. Me too. I'll make sure Aaron's busy so we can have more time. My stomach drops. I feel like the floor has just disappeared beneath me, like I'm falling and I can't stop. I read the message again, my heart pounding so hard I can barely hear anything else. I'll make sure Erin's busy. She's been planning this, lying to me, deceiving me, and with Robert. I don't recognize the name, but the way they're talking, it's intimate, familiar. I scroll back through the conversation, reading more and more of their messages. It's clear that this isn't just some work thing. It's more, something personal, something she's been hiding from me. I slam the laptop shut, my hands trembling, my breath coming in short, ragged gasps. I feel sick, betrayed, humiliated. Who the hell is Robert? How long has this been going on? How could I have been so blind? I push away from the desk, pacing the room as the weight of it all crashes down on me. This isn't just a suspicion anymore. It's real. Claire is cheating on me. She's been lying to me, sneaking around behind my back. And now I know. I grab my phone off the desk and pull up my contacts, scrolling through the names until I find one. Robert McAllister. It hits me like a truck. Robert McAllister. He's my boss, my mentor, the man who gave me a shot at my career, who I've spent years working for, trying to prove myself to. My head spins as the pieces start to fall into place. The late nights, the vague excuses, the work trips she never fully explained. It's him. It's always been him. The nausea rises in my throat as the reality of it sinks in. Claire is sleeping with Robert, my boss, the man who has more influence over my career than anyone else. It's him. The man who could destroy everything I've worked for if he wanted to. I feel the bile rising in my throat as I sit down on the edge of the bed, my head spinning. I can't believe this. I don't want to believe this. But the evidence is right in front of me. How long has this been going on? How many times have they laughed behind my back, smiled at me, knowing that I had no idea? I feel like a fool. The sound of the front door opening downstairs snaps me out of my thoughts. Claire. She's back. She's back. I stand up, my heart pounding in my chest, my hands shaking. I don't know what I'm going to say to her. I don't even know if I'm ready to confront her. But I know one thing. I can't keep pretending like everything's fine. She's been lying to me. And now, I know the truth. The sound of laughter echoes through the restaurant, the clinking of glasses and silverware creating a low hum in the background. I sit at the long table, my hands folded in my lap, watching the group around me. It's supposed to be a celebration, a team dinner to mark the end of the quarter. Robert organized the whole thing, insisting we all take the night to unwind. I wasn't planning on coming. After what I found on Claire's laptop, I wanted to avoid Robert altogether. But it would have looked suspicious if I didn't show up. He's still my boss, after all. And I still haven't confronted Claire. So here I am, sitting at the same table as the man who's been sleeping with my wife. Claire's sitting next to Robert, her face lit up with laughter as he whispers something in her ear. It makes my stomach turn. Watching the two of them, every time Robert leans in, every time Claire smiles, it feels like a knife twisting deeper in my gut. I can't believe I've been this blind, that I've sat through so many dinners like this, laughing and drinking with Robert, completely unaware of what's been going on behind my back. They're good at hiding it. I'll give them that. If I didn't know any better, I'd think they were just two co-workers, enjoying the night like everyone else. But I do know better, and it's killing me. I take a sip of my drink, the ice clinking against the glass, and glance around the table. My colleagues are laughing, sharing stories about work, completely oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. I feel like I'm on the outside, looking in, like I'm part of a life that isn't mine anymore. Robert says something, his voice cutting through the chatter, and everyone turns to look at him. He's telling a story, something about a project we worked on last year, a success he's eager to claim as his own. I watch him closely, my hands tightening around the glass. He has no idea that I know. He has no idea that I'm sitting here, watching him, knowing full well what he's been doing with my wife. It takes everything in me not to stand up and call him out right here, in front of everyone. But I hold back. For now, Claire, why don't you tell them about the retreat? Robert says, turning his attention to her. Claire smiles, a light flush rising to her cheeks. I don't know. It was just work stuff, she says, waving a hand dismissively. I feel my pulse quicken. The retreat. She's mentioned it before. Something about a leadership conference. A few days away to network. Now I wonder how much of that was a lie. Come on, tell them, Robert insists, his hand resting lightly on her arm. It's subtle, but I notice the way his fingers linger there. The easy familiarity between them. I grit my teeth, forcing myself to stay calm. Claire smiles again and launches into a story about the retreat, talking about the workshops, the team-building exercises, and all the people she met. She's animated, her voice light, as if she's reliving some grand adventure. But all I can think about is what else happened at that retreat. What she's not saying. I can't take it anymore. I push back my chair and stand up, the legs scraping against the floor. The sudden movement makes everyone look my way, the conversations around the table coming to a halt. Everything okay, Aaron? Robert asks, his eyes narrowing slightly as he looks at me. I meet his gaze, my heart pounding in my chest. No, I say, my voice tight. Actually, everything's not okay. The room goes silent. All eyes are on me now, but I don't care. I can feel the blood rushing in my ears, the anger boiling over as I take a step closer to Robert. My hands clenched into fists at my sides. I know about you and Claire, I say, my voice low but steady. There's a beat of stunned silence. For a moment, no one moves, no one speaks. Then I see it. Robert's face tightens, his jaw clenching, and Claire's eyes widen in shock. Aaron, what are you talking about? Claire says, her voice shaky, but I'm not looking at her. My eyes are locked on Robert. I know, I repeat, louder this time. I know you've been sleeping with my wife. The words hang in the air, heavy and final, like the crack of thunder before a storm. Everyone at the table stares at me. Their face is a mix of confusion and disbelief. Robert doesn't say anything at first. His face is pale, his eyes dark as he looks at me trying to figure out what to do next. Claire is frozen in her seat, her hands trembling as she tries to protest. But the damage is done. The truth is out. I don't stop. I can't. I found the emails. Robert, I say, my voice rising. I found everything. The messages, the meetings, the late nights. You've been lying to me, both of you. Claire looks like she's about to cry, her eyes filling with tears. But I don't feel any sympathy. Not now. Not after everything. Aaron. Claire starts, but I cut her off. Don't. I snap, my voice shaking with anger. Don't try to explain. Don't tell me it wasn't what it looks like, because I know exactly what it was. I can see the color draining from her face, her lips trembling as she tries to hold back the tears. But I don't care. I can't care. Not after everything I've just exposed. The silence in the room is deafening. My colleagues are staring at me, their mouths open in shock, unsure of what to say or how to react. This wasn't supposed to happen here. Not like this. But I don't regret it. I couldn't sit there any longer, pretending like everything was fine while the two of them laughed in my face. They thought they could keep it hidden, that I'd never find out. But now, everyone knows. Robert stands up, his face tight with anger, but there's fear in his eyes. Too, he knows he's been caught. He knows there's no way out of this now. Aaron, let's talk about this privately, he says, his voice low, controlled. There's no need to. Privately. I scoff, cutting him off. You've been screwing my wife behind my back for months, and you think we can just talk about this privately? I take a step closer, my heart pounding in my chest. You destroyed my marriage, Robert. You destroyed everything, and you think I'm just going to sit here and let you get away with it? Robert's face is flushed now, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. I can see the panic in his eyes. The way he's desperately trying to maintain control of the situation. But it's slipping away. He's lost. The tension in the room is palpable. The air thick with the weight of everything I've just exposed. No one knows what to say. No one knows how to react. But I do. I turn to Claire. My chest tight with the weight of the betrayal. How could you? I ask, my voice trembling with anger and heartbreak. How could you do this to me? To us? She doesn't answer. She can't. The tears are falling freely now. Her body shaking as she stares down at her hands. Too ashamed to look at me. I feel a lump rise in my throat. But I swallow it down. I won't let myself break. Not here. Not in front of all these people. I take a deep breath. My chest aching with the weight of everything that's happened. I'm done. I say quietly, the finality of the words sinking in. We're done. Without waiting for a response. I turn and walk out of the restaurant, leaving the stunned silence behind me. The cool night air hits my face as I step outside. But it does nothing to calm the storm raging inside me. It's over. Claire. Robert. My marriage. Everything. The truth is out now. It's over. And there's no going back. The front door slams behind me as I walk into the house. My footsteps echoing through the quiet hallway. My chest is tight. My hands shaking from the adrenaline that's still pumping through my veins. I feel like I'm on the edge of losing it. Like the whole world is crashing down around me and I can't stop it. I can't believe what just happened. The confrontation with Robert. The truth spilling out in front of everyone. The look on Claire's face when she realized it was all over. I rub my hand over my face, trying to calm myself. But it's no use. The anger is still there, burning inside me, eating away at me. How could she do this? How could she lie to me for so long? I trusted her. I loved her. And she threw it all away for him. For Robert. I hear the soft sound of the front door opening behind me. And I know it's Claire. I don't turn around. I can't. Not yet. I need a minute to collect myself before I face her. Before I hear whatever bullshit excuse she's going to give me. Aaron. Claire's voice is shaky. Filled with hesitation. Like she doesn't know how to start. Good. She should be afraid to speak right now. I take a deep breath. My chest aching as I turn to face her. Her eyes are red. Her face blotchy from crying. But I don't feel any sympathy. Not now. Not after everything. Don't. I say. My voice low. Shaking with the weight of everything I'm holding back. Don't say anything right now. I need to know one thing. Claire. She nods. Her hands trembling as she wraps her arms around herself. Like she's trying to hold herself together. How long? Ask. My voice barely above a whisper. How long has this been going on? She doesn't answer at first. She can't. She just stands there, staring at the floor, her body shaking with silent sobs. But I need to know. I need to hear it from her. 2 years. She finally whispers, her voice cracking. It's been 2 years. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. 2 years. 2 years of lies. 2 years of sneaking around behind my back. I feel like the ground is crumbling beneath me. Like everything I thought I knew about my life has been ripped away in an instant. I let out a harsh breath, my hands clenching into fists at my sides as I try to keep myself from breaking. 2 years. I spit, my voice rising with every word. You've been lying to me for 2 years? Claire flinches at the harshness in my voice, her tears falling faster now. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she says, her voice trembling. It just happened. I laugh bitterly, the sound hollow and cold in the silence of the room. It just happened. 2 years. Claire, you don't accidentally screw my boss for 2 years. She covers her face with her hands, her body shaking as she sobs. But I can't feel sorry for her. Not now. Not after everything. How could you do this? I demand, my voice raw with emotion. How could you lie to me for so long? How could you throw away everything we had for him? I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispers through her sobs. I didn't want this to happen. It got out of control. Out of control. I snap, my heart pounding in my chest. Claire, you've been lying to me for 2 years. You've been sleeping with Robert, my boss. Don't stand there and tell me it just got out of control. She wipes at her face, her hands shaking as she tries to find the words. But there's nothing she can say that will make this better. Nothing that will undo the damage that's been done. I was lonely, she says quietly, her voice breaking. You were always working late. You were so focused on your career. And I just needed someone. I didn't mean for it to be Robert. It just happened. I feel the anger rising in my chest, so strong I can barely contain it. So this is my fault now? You were lonely. So you decided to screw my boss? That's your excuse? No, she sobs, shaking her head. No, Aaron, it's not your fault. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry? Sorry? I laugh bitterly, my voice thick with sarcasm. You think saying sorry is going to fix this? You think that's going to make this all go away? She doesn't answer. She just stands there, crying, her face buried in her hands. And all I can feel is the weight of the betrayal pressing down on me, suffocating me. I trusted her. I loved her. And she's been lying to me for 2 years, sneaking around with Robert behind my back, laughing at me, knowing I had no idea. I feel sick. I feel like I'm drowning. How long have you been lying to me? Ask, my voice shaking with the force of the question. How many nights have you come home, smiled at me, kissed me, knowing full well you were screwing Robert? Claire shakes her head, her body trembling. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispers. I never wanted this to happen, but it did happen. I say, my voice rising. You made the choice, Claire. You chose to betray me, to lie to me, over and over again, for 2 years. She sobs harder. But I can't bring myself to care. Not anymore. The pain is too much. The betrayal too deep. I pace the room, my mind racing with everything I've just learned. Everything I've lost. My marriage. My trust in the woman I thought I knew. It's all gone now. I don't know how to move forward from this. I say quietly, more to myself than to her. I don't know how to trust you again. How to believe anything you say. Claire steps forward, her hands reaching out to me, but I take a step back, shaking my head. I can't look at her right now. I can't let myself feel anything for her. Not after what she's done. I love you, she whispers, her voice breaking. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you, but I love you, Aaron. Please, don't leave me. We can fix this. The words cut through me like a knife. Love. How can she say she loves me? How can she stand there, after everything she's done, and say she loves me? You don't do this to someone you love. I say, my voice trembling with anger. You don't lie to them. You don't destroy their life. You don't betray them for 2 years, and then stand there and say you love them. I do love you, she pleads, her voice desperate. Aaron, please. We can fix this. I'll do whatever it takes. Just please don't leave. But I know it's too late. There's no fixing this. The trust is gone. The love is gone. I take a deep breath, my chest aching with the weight of what I'm about to say. It's over, Claire. Her eyes widen, panic flashing across her face. No, she cries, shaking her head. Please, Aaron, don't say that. We can fix this. I know we can, but I know better. Some things can't be fixed. Some things are too broken to ever be whole again. I can't stay with you, I say quietly, my voice barely audible. I can't do this anymore. The words hang in the air between us, heavy and final. Claire sobs harder, her hands covering her face as she crumbles in front of me. But I don't reach for her. I don't comfort her. I can't. Without another word, I turn and walk toward the door, the sound of her sobs echoing behind me as I step out into the cool night air. The weight of the past 2 years presses down on me, suffocating me, but there's a strange sense of relief too. It's over. The lies, the betrayal, the marriage, everything. The night is quiet, too quiet, as I sit in my car, staring at the empty street in front of me. I don't know how long I've been sitting here. Maybe an hour, maybe more. Time feels strange now, like it's slipping through my fingers, like I'm frozen in this moment, unable to move. The weight of what just happened presses down on me, heavy and suffocating. Claire's sobs still echo in my ears, her desperate pleas ringing in my mind. But none of it matters anymore. It's over. I know that now. There's no coming back from this. No way to fix what's been broken. It's over. I grip the steering wheel tightly, the cool leather cold against my palms. I want to feel something. Anything. But right now, I just feel numb, like everything inside me has been drained, leaving me hollow and empty. I close my eyes, leaning my head back against the seat, trying to catch my breath. But all I can think about is the last few hours. How everything came crashing down so quickly. I thought I could handle it. I thought I could confront Claire, get some answers, maybe find a way to move forward. But now, I realize how foolish that was. There's no moving forward.